All right, the time is now 6:30 on Wednesday, May 20th. I'm going to call the Liberty Tree Academy Board to order. We are, for those online, we are without our audio-wise. We are up on audio, so appreciate your patience. Let's go ahead and move into the roll call. We'll start at the end of the dais and work our way this way. Mr. Stukwich.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Tim Geithner is here. Mrs. Lathan.
Here.
And we do not have Mrs. Russell with us tonight. She is excused. With that, we have 4, so we have met our quorum. If we pledge of allegiance, Amy, if you'll lead us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's move on to our mission and vision. Mike, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. LTA's mission: Liberty Tree Academy prepares students through a traditional, content-rich education and discipline and our nation's founders to preserve and perpetuate liberty. Liberty Tree's vision: Liberty Tree Academy is dedicated to authentic, traditional American education to be a community that actively cultivates character in a challenging and engaging learning environment.
Very good. Appreciate it. Thank you. And then, Andy, if you don't mind providing our founding fathers quote.
From John Jay: "We must go home to be happy, and our home is not in this world. Here we have nothing to do but our duty."
Amen. Let's move on to approval of our agenda. If I could have a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Second.
Very good. Thank you, Amy. With that, is there any opposition? Seeing no opposition, we have our agenda adopted. Let's move on to board member reports. I don't know if any board member have anything to share on any athletics or anything at all.
Well, I've got a little bit to share. First off, our parent engagement team got spun up and going this year, and I appreciate everybody who's helped out with that. I know our staff has appreciated the hard work, and we look forward to growing that and continuing that next year. The play that our upper school and some of our littles helped in, Annie, was fantastic. I was there Friday evening, and just the amount of hard work and dedication that the kids put in, you could tell they did such a fantastic job, so much energy and enthusiasm. That was a lot of fun to see. And then our sports wrapped up, and we had a very strong showing at our Black Forest League championships for the middle school. Both the middle school boys and girls took home the championship trophies, and that was the first time that the girls team had been league champions. So that was a very exciting long day for those two teams. And then our high school state track teams did a fantastic job. We had one of our seniors finish second in the state with in the 400 meter dash with a time almost touching 48 seconds. So he ran it in just over 49 seconds, which is mind-boggling. We had a relay team run well beyond what they were seated, and we had a hurdler who ran a fantastic race. It was a lot of fun to be able to be there Saturday for all the final races and just to see all of our student athletes climb to meet that challenge. So it was a good state track meet.
Very good. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Seeing no takers, we will move on to headmaster report. Turn it over to you, Mr. Siegel.
Sure. The ongoing task of implementing the mission and creating a disciplined and orderly environment. continues. One aspect of this, of course, is staffing. As I've said in here before, school is only as classmates as faculty. I can say as of today, upper school is fully staffed for next year. It will be a improvement from this past year. Lower school, there are still a couple positions there open. One of our challenges with staffing is financial. We have a substantial debt service that comes out of our budget every year. And we advertise a starting pay of 39 to 50,000 versus schools that start at 50K. I interviewed a young man today who has 2 years of teaching experience, a master's degree, and he's in District 2 making $54,000, which we don't pay many people that much money. And that's a challenge until we can get our debt service down, and we'll find alternate ways to do the funding there as well. You are aware of our Director of Operations. He started May 1st, full-time. And he has jumped in with both feet and really is addressing some of the issues of the building. The building was built in 2018 with no real plan to maintain it all that well, and to keep it up to date and things like that. He's also addressing our IT issues as well as some other operational issues there as well. Our lower school academic dean, as I introduced her in the Liberty Lantern, is Robin Schneider, who has been had been the principal at St. Gabriel Classical Academy, so about 20 minutes away. She's coming with a lot of experience in classical education, and she's involved in the hiring team for lower school faculty as of today, or as of this week, I should say. And in terms of academics, we held our first ever academic honors assembly about 2 weeks ago. It went really, really well. It honored students in specific subjects. So it was really neat to see that as well. We also honored performance on the National Latin exam and in our honor different math teams, mostly lower and middle school math teams. In terms of the National Latin exam, if you've seen Facebook, and we're really being kind of intentional about what we do on our main Facebook page. I think it was our second most popular posting of the year was a student getting a perfect score on the National Latin exam. So that's an accomplishment. I was going to say, other than I think middle school boys winning basketball, it was right up there. So when Latin and basketball are competing, we might be in the place. We also had our spring virtue assembly a week ago, so emphasizing the 5 virtues there, and we will honor 2 seniors at graduation, which I'll say a little bit about as well. We are offering the PSAT National Merit qualifying test in the fall. It hadn't been done here really, so we're going to start implementing that. I'm working on adding the CLT at the basic levels, probably the 7th through 10th or so next year as well. The classic learning test is a really good benchmark for our curriculum. It also is accepted by Hillsdale College, colleges in the state of Florida, and I think and many Christian colleges and many liberal arts colleges around the country. So I would say Hillsdale is probably the most academically rigorous of the schools that accept it at the moment. We just finished end of the year Acadian's benchmarks for that is consistency in the classroom. One of the problems that Liberty Tree has faced in the past, of course, is turnover during the year. We really limited that in the lower school. We had one intentional change in January and in one classroom, but other than that, there's been a turnover during the year, which, again, by Liberty Tree standards, is really good. We had a little bit more turnover upstairs with 2 particular particular areas, but again, I think less than normal. In terms of activity, our 2026 graduation is in 2 days at 6 p.m. in Liberty Hall. I've initiated 2 new awards for that graduation ceremony. One is an award for teaching excellence, award for a teacher, recognizing an upper school teacher for excellence in the classroom, because really between teachers and families, okay, that's the educational partnership that goes there. And then another award that I've had the institutions that I've been at before, it will be for excellence as a student athlete, and meaning true excellence as an athlete while combining that with, I would say, solid academic performance and in particular citizenship in the school. So kind of combining those 3 things as well. As Mr. Stockbridge has already mentioned, we had 3 delightful performances of Annie, some technological problems, some of them, but with a 4th grade Annie, that made things very interesting. We also had obviously a good year in track, a very good year in track, and a good year in girls golf. We had 6 girls playing girls golf, and one kind of set a school record and tied our boys golf school record holder, so that's kind of fun there as well. Our grade 2 through 6 athletic camps were very successful. Really got a lot of lower school students involved. As I said before, Mr. Dishnow will be serving as Director of Athletic Development to develop more of the grade school programs and to feed into that. In terms of summer camps, since will come out this week, we will have a range in volleyball, basketball, and soccer there for the kids' camps. Enrollment as of today, as of 5/20, we have 540 enrolled with probably a projection of about 517. That's my latest number there. We'll have 2 more parent information nights during the summer. One on Tuesday, June 2nd, and the other on Tuesday, July 14th. Kind of ironic to have a Bastille Day information night, but it's in terms of things, those are 6:30 to 8. Our last one was pretty well attended, and people, asking good questions there as well. Our kindergarten class is it's a little bit larger than this year, but we've had some kind of atrophy in 8th grade going into 9th grade, typical 8th grade melt, and some 9th going into 10th. Combination of students leaving because their parents are in the military, and then a combination of students seeking an easier or a more online option, which I've written plenty about now in the Liberty Lantern, so whether it's better or not. In terms of our Hillsdale Connection, we'll have our full leadership team will attend the summer conference. I think I have to fly us home. I've got the tickets to fly us there, so that's part of it. They will come back. Tomorrow, just out of the blue, I have an informal visit from someone who's in the MA program there. She wrote to me and said it was recommended that she visit us to see an excellent curriculum school. So no pressure.
Yeah.
I said, well, you're coming on the last day of school. She wanted to come next week. I said, well, you can come next week, but there won't be any students here.
Right.
And tomorrow, we have exams in the morning, and the 2nd grade has a field trip too, so it'll be interesting. But again, building that connection there as well. Kind of revise some things about our 250th celebration. The Falcon Freedom Days is on July 4th itself, so we're going to have a booth there, and we're working on doing something later in the summer, right before like the beginning of the year barbecue type thing, that we can also use as a celebrating the 250th anniversary of our country. A couple requests from my side of things for the board would be to hold an annual retreat that I could participate in to review Hillsdale best practices for board there. One of the best practices is to have a strategic plan. the strategic plan at the moment. And also, and tied into that is, I think we need to raise more money for the activity side of things in the school because of then we can free up more salary for faculty and things like that. And I would propose having a spring 2027 gala that was a fundraising gala, really to focus on like-minded individuals in not just in the local community, but throughout Colorado that would be interested in supporting Liberty Tree Academy and its mission. Because at the moment, still, it is the only Hillsdale school south of Douglas County there as well. Again, that's something we could rope the PET into somewhat, but it would have to be a separate committee because it would be really focused on, I think we could have it here in Freedom Hall when we had the state civics be here and cleaned up really well. And there's a lot of things that you can showcase in the school when you have it there. I'm familiar, the school my wife worked in Denver was a classical school, and they used their school to good use. I don't know if quite how we would do that, and I'm sure there's some people that could plan it better than I can.
Well, that's what I would hope and envision the PET being able to help with, or larger plans like this, and not just snacks.
Yeah. Well, they'll be working on our Fall Fest as well. But we'll have a separate committee there as well. And I think we just have to get a little bit more parental involvement and maybe community involvement there. So.
Do you do sponsors for that kind of an event?
We would, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then obviously doing it in Freedom Hall would keep costs overall down
It would
because
keep the cost.
we would not need to rent a venue.
Yeah. That keeps costs considerably down.
Okay. I have a couple questions. Does anybody have a couple questions?
I'm brainstorming.
Okay. All right. You mentioned the CLT, the Classic Learning Test. I think I just coincidentally yesterday on X, Twitter, I did see CLT post that they're increasing their fees. I think it's about $75 right now to sit for it.
Yeah.
There is additional scrutiny with, I guess, some of what we have seen in some of the Ivy League schools and families getting their kids in where there was, I don't know, shenanigans or, testing.
Yeah.
I don't know, creativity around testing.
Yeah.
So their claim is that they're going to be tightening up because they are seen as one of the more respected, I guess.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to flag that if we're going to start utilizing that, I think their fee is going to increase to about 110 or 120. And the reason for that is additional security parameters, additional proctors, some of the things to keep the legitimacy of the test, but to further fall in
There
line.
might be a school use thing with that as well. Because I know we had different rates than the average rate. Because you can take it practically, they have certain Saturdays when you can take it in your home.
Yes. Yes.
Which obviously leads to
Yes.
some security issues. But when you take it as a school, there are certain school testing dates.
Okay.
Those are more secure.
Okay.
The Trent Kramer, who was the former headmaster of Ascent of Northern Colorado, is now on their staff. He's a former head that I know. So I know most of their staff.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha.
And it wouldn't be for every grade, but it's
No.
eventually, for schools like Hillsdale, University of Dallas would be another one. Wheaton would be another one. They all they all accept that now
Okay.
rather than the SAT, and you don't have to, it would be more on the families in that case.
Yes.
For the SAT, but again, you'd have to register, you'd afford and pay $100 anyway.
Right.
So.
I wonder if when we do because I know each year we do our fees, that we kind of say, hey, if it's athletic fees or whatever those fees are, I wonder if it makes sense to highlight
The testing fee, it might.
just so that it's not a surprise to parents when they are, just an idea, and whether that's just,
I would pilot a couple grades next year,
okay,
and just to kind of see, because for us it would be partially a benchmark test as well.
Yeah,
It
got it.
started as an SAT or ACT equivalent, and then they built it all the way down. So they have like a grade school CLT,
Interesting.
an elementary CLT. But
Okay.
getting the state of, in an ideal state of Colorado, we would be allowed to use that instead of like an Acadians or stuff.
Yeah.
It's not going to be accepted for some time.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. What else is I going to flag? His game's 540. 517 projected.
Mhm.
When we get into the budget, I know the budget is built off of 506.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to forget that. The Hillsdale, 14th through the 20th. I think did I hear you say, and I think I may have seen an email too, that Hillsdale recommended to this student that this student
Yes.
come and visit us.
Yes.
So that's
Ben Payne in the office of
okay. Okay. I think that what that says is that Hillsdale sees us, and if they're willing to make recommendations to say to folks that are looking at classical schools that are affiliated with Hillsdale, for them to say, hey, you guys should go check out LTA.
Yeah.
I think that kind of
It might be the time for the board to write Hillsdale about consideration to
Okay.
towards a member school. It's a 2-year process.
okay.
And Mr. Payne kind of suggested to me that, yeah, it's a 2-year process. So even if you're not perfectly there yet, I think that request coming from the board could mean something.
Okay.
And it probably could go directly to Dr. O'Toole.
Okay. Hearing you say that, and then your recommendation on the annual retreat, which you're not wrong, and I'm glad that you've said that. Do you have in your experience, when do boards of schools typically do their annual retreat? Is it during the summer? Is it?
I would guess it would be in the summer, but.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, a lot of boards don't do it, so.
Okay.
But because I think there are some questions about strategic planning,
Yes.
what do we look like in 5 to 7 years out?
Yeah.
Even addressing growth and demographics there as well. Maybe some more reflection on an overall marketing plan in the greater community. Because right now we're in the pattern of rebuilding a reputation. I think that was lost.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Do you know if the schools north of us that are Hillsdale affiliated, do you know if they do retreats? I don't know if you've come across any.
Well, the 4 of the Hillsdale schools in Colorado are Ascent schools, and they have one board for all 4 of them.
Ah,
So it's a
that's right.
corporate board.
Interesting.
So I'm assuming they would, but it's less, it's 4 for one school.
Okay.
I don't know what Golden View does. I could find out.
Do you mind? I think the other school maybe that might be worth checking into on retreat side would be Bob Schaefer's school.
Yeah, Liberty
Liberty Commons,
Yeah.
Just to see, because if they have products from years past, or if they have lessons learned or themes that they say, hey, you guys would be super smart if you incorporated X, Y, or Z in your retreat, just so that we're not reinventing something that maybe we can learn from some others on. I think that might be helpful. And I think it would just allow us to add a little bit more, get traction, I guess, in terms of what we are planning for ourselves. So yeah, if you don't mind reaching out,
I can reach out.
that would be helpful.
Or even what about a joint retreat with another school?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
That sounds, with the schedules of some of you, that might be hard to do.
I mean, it might be.
It might be.
Mike's retired.
It'd be really
so
fruitful.
Yeah.
When he's not in San Antonio.
I don't feel like it, but I heard.
I mean, that's a very interesting idea. I would think that there could be. I mean, I'd be willing to explore that. Obviously, it would be. I think the idea there would be, what would another school, if we were looking to kind of partner in some way, what they would be comfortable with. But I'm not necessarily opposed.
Yeah, and I would say, I'm not sure exactly how Ascent structure works, because I know it is a
Okay.
unified board.
Okay. Well, let's at least see if we can
Okay,
find
I'll-
out what some of their products are and their agendas and their themes that they're covering. And then if there is opportunity, that it makes, especially if they're already, Liberty Common, totally love what they do, right? I think Bob Schaefer is amazing. And then obviously if the Hillsdale schools, they're going to be somewhat like us. I mean, maybe not identical, but somewhat. So I would have comfort with,
Sure.
partnering with either if those are possible. And then obviously making that, identifying what that annual retreat is. I would be hesitant to say that we could actually pull off an annual retreat sometime during this summer.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say is because I feel like we are definitely going to be starting from ground zero
Yes.
and finding the time. People have made travel arrangements. You guys are already headed to Hillsdale for a week, finding the time. But maybe if there's an opportunity that we think September might work, like if we come close to maybe like fall break, I don't know. I'm not saying I want to do it in the middle of fall break because I think people need their time. But maybe if we come close to that on one side or the other, I don't know, just some ideas. So maybe a look at the academic calendar, if you don't mind,
Okay.
to say, hey, these are some ideas in terms of dates as to when we could do it.
Okay.
I
Would
think we should do it here. But
Would it help to have it after count day? Or does that?
I don't think it matters one way or
that's
the other.
interesting. Okay.
I think.
Because the
having it
5-year
here-
plans don't depend on count day this year.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, but I think what you're getting at, Andy, is you're kind of thinking of like if you're going to develop a marketing plan as part of.
Yeah, I mean, when we don't have a strategic plan completed.
No.
But we have one started.
We've had fits and starts.
But, you
It's a
know,
trite.
there are
It's a trite.
1, 3, 5, 10-year
Uh-huh.
aspects of the strategic plan. And so, yeah, I guess I'm trying to push it out of September.
Got it. Okay. I'm hearing what you're.
Because it's
Putting down.
cross-country season.
Okay, got it. Okay.
I'm thinking more hunting, but yes.
Uh-huh.
that as well.
Got it. Okay. September is not ideal for Andy. Okay, got it. I think those are the questions that I had. So I appreciate the.
Do we have wait lists in?
Not in any grades at the moment
Okay.
that I am aware of. I think there might be a couple classes that are close.
Okay.
You mentioned the parent information night.
Yes.
And was that was specifically just for kindergarten, or was that
No,
more
it was
broad?
for all. Most of the ones I've done are general. We
Okay.
have done kindergarten-specific ones, so we did a kindergarten-specific one in April
Okay.
as well, and a regular one. And if a kindergarten parent comes to the regular one, it's just they get to see the whole K-12 vision rather than focused on
Got it.
kindergarten.
Got it.
And what those actually serve to do is, most of those were people who were already coming to kindergarten and, just alleviated some of their fears. And,
Okay.
seeing the classrooms and stuff like that.
Okay. Something that you would continue to do.
Yes.
It sounds like.
Yeah, no, I can't even remember how many I've done now. I think we've done 2 kindergarten ones and probably about 8, either K-12 or we actually done 2 high school ones too.
Okay. I didn't even realize it was that many.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen them on Facebook and whatever else, but I didn't keep track of. Okay. Got
And
it.
I wasn't going to do anything this summer, but I could let Liberty Commons, who I have wait lists, are doing them in the summer, so.
Are they?
Makes sense. Yeah,
Okay.
and I know there are people who will come to the June 2nd one now for a variety of reasons. I mean, we're starting to spread the message in different areas. It's starting to resound, yeah.
Okay. So I homeschool, but I don't know how many parents, when they sit down, do some parents and families, especially kindergartners, or coming into kindergarten, new families, do they, some I assume are probably more diligent. They're like, we've got to have a plan. We've got to figure things out sooner than later. And then I assume that there's also those that are like, oh, we've got time. And then it's like, we really need to figure this out. Would it make sense to do one because we're going to start in August.
Yeah.
Would it make sense to do one in July specifically just for kindergartners, or
I don't think it's specifically for kindergartners, because most people will make that decision by then.
Okay.
It's more for people who are either coming into the community,
Okay.
for military reasons or
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that. We had a family visit, it didn't come for an information night, but it's a Marine couple. I think the wife is active and the husband is not, but I think they have 4 children. They visited because they were looking at houses and, they kind of read about us, took a tour,
Got it.
saw that there weren't iPads in every room. Got very happy about that, heard about our mission. So,
Okay.
um, that's what we hope for. And, and want to cultivate.
Sure. I wonder if it makes, I'm trying to remember, standard PCS timeline. I know it always happened
Yeah.
around spring, summer,
Right.
but I don't know if there was ever, I'd have to look. I guess what I'm also trying to get at is I don't know if it makes sense to do one specifically for military families. If we could kind of hone in on, if we could identify like, hey, most PCSs are complete or are happening around this time. Those families are specifically looking at housing. They're specifically looking at how they're going to, I don't know if it makes sense if we're going to do kind of a general or a broad one, if it makes sense to do one that's kind of more for military
We've
families.
had military families in almost all of them.
You have? Okay, good. So maybe it doesn't then. Okay.
It's not a bad idea to check and see, what they do. They tell the new member, this is a list of schools in your area. Well, who knows where they're going to
Yeah, I know I think we're on that list, aren't we? At least at
It should be.
Carson? I think at
That's-
Carson.
That would be my question. How would the military families,
Yeah, I think,
We took pamphlets to all the bases.
yeah.
what
And-
about Mount Carmel
Oh, I don't
Veteran
know.
Services Center? I mean, they work with families.
That might be, yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, that they are always providing resources for families to include, support.
They're kind of seen as the one-stop shop. They're up off of, is it 8th Avenue?
Yeah, it's down by the rodeo.
Yeah.
I call it the rodeo, the Norris Penrose. There, it's down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob, what's his last name?
I can't believe I can't think of it.
The former garrison commander
Yeah,
of Fort Carson.
Oh my gosh, now I feel really terrible. I will come up with it. I was on their board when they first started, but.
Okay. You know what? You were on their board.
Uh-huh.
I think you should.
I will reach out.
Amy, I think this is
I haven't
Providence.
talked to Bob in a while.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because I remember when Jenny was here, we had conversations about getting on the list at Carson and a couple of the others. I don't know if we did something standard across all the military installations. We may have at that time, but definitely I think Carmel, I think makes a lot of sense. McLaughlin,
Thank you.
Bob McLaughlin. Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be great. I don't know if they, I mean, just even the question, like, hey, do you guys offer
yeah.
a list of schools
Just-
or whatever? What would it take to get on the list? If not, could we pitch an idea that maybe you guys have a list that you can
Yep.
promote? So anyways, cool. All right. I think I'm done because kind of went down a rabbit trail, but that was perfect. All right. Any other questions or thoughts before we leave? No? Meaning leave headmaster report. Let's move into board discussion. First item is past meeting minutes. I have past meeting minutes. I think it was from March 19th that Stephanie had circulated. I don't have any concerns. I don't know if anybody else had any concerns from that. Okay, so let's move on to leadership elections. We're going to go through each of the positions here to make sure we've got all of our bases covered. So we'll start with president, we'll go vice president, secretary, treasurer, and then we're going to do a little bit of building core thing, which is going to fall kind of under treasurer. So at this point, what I'll do is I'll turn it over to the board for any nominations for president, and then we'll move on, like I said, to vice president.
Well, I'd like to recognize the job that Tim has done in his time with the board, and I would like to nominate Tim to continue on as the board president.
I'll
Careful
second
what you
that.
ask for. Careful what you ask for, Andy. Thank you. Okay, very good. So there is a motion and a second. Is there any objection? Seeing no objection, I appreciate the confidence. I will do my best to not let you guys down. Let's move on to vice president. I would like to nominate Andy for the vice president position. We've been absent a vice president since Jenny left, and so anxious to get that one filled. If there is a second, I would welcome the second.
Second.
Very good. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Is there any objection? Seeing no objection, good luck, Andy.
Thank you.
I would just,
I would do my best.
I would have to put out a request for the creme brulee.
At every board meeting.
I heard that, heard that
I'll have
before
to
we got
talk to the
started.
ducks and the chickens
Feeling
about
like-
that.
I feel a
That's-
little left out on that.
Thanks for asking him to do that, not me. I appreciate that. Let's move on to secretary. I would like to nominate Stephanie to fill the role of our secretary. She's actually been doing that for quite a while, and I'd like to see that made formal.
I would second that.
Very good. Okay, Amy, I think you beat. I think you beat Andy. So very good. Is there any objection? Seeing no objection, let's move on to treasurer. I would like to nominate Amy as treasurer.
I will second that.
Very good. Thank you, Andy. Is there any objection? Seeing no objection, let's move on to our alternate building corps.
Yes, we do need an alternate member on our building corps for any time that one of the two members might not be able to participate. And probably a good example would be the recusal for the current easement situation. And so I would like to, so typically, it's my understanding that the president and the treasurer serve
Mhm.
on the,
Yes.
yep. And so that would be Tim and myself. And so I would like to nominate Mike as alternate.
Very good.
I'll second that.
Oh, very good. Thanks, Andy. The idea there is we haven't found LTA in a position where someone has, I think, abstained from something that would affect building corps. And so we obviously have the appraisal that's in front of us, and I have abstained. And so contemplating what the board needs in order to best operate, it's kind of new, but at the same point, that's the idea. So there's no objection, Mike.
No.
So thank you for that.
So just for clarification, then Amy will also be on the building board.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So specifically as it may pertain, I would say directly with the appraisal, Amy and Mike are your go-tos.
Yep.
I would rather not receive any emails as it pertains to the appraisal, please. Okay. With that, I think that takes care of our leadership elections. Thank you all. Let's move into item number C, which is our financials. I'm not sure, Mr. Siegel, if you want to brief. I'm not sure if Ms. Miller, if you want to brief. I know that we need to get something to D49 for June. This is our first read. I am hesitant doing a first read, jump in, adopt, and move forward. I think a little bit of time having the ability to see this, which you obviously emailed to us sometime, I think last week, or maybe even the week before, I can't remember. But then the opportunity for, now that we have a dedicated identified treasurer, the idea there that, Amy and you, if you guys can, if there's questions or what have you, and then I think I would like to get to the point where we actually look to Amy and say, hey, Amy, what do you think, and really lean on. In the past, I don't think we've had that level of kind of structure, but I think that level of structure would be.
And I agree with you, until we can meet and kind of go through this
Yeah.
together, I wouldn't be comfortable doing that,
Yeah.
of course. So, a
Okay.
little bit of time. We need
Well,
this.
so it needs to be adopted by June 1st. And the one thing that I wanted to point out just for this budget is that there's not a lot of changes from the previous that we adopted in November. The only thing is that there's a few additional regarding salary, but I did 100% participation in medical because I didn't know what that would look like. So it's really kind of pumped up.
You're saying for this one, you did 100% medical, not the November one.
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to make sure there was.
Because I just don't know who all is going to participate. We have a couple of things that were added to our medical offerings in conjunction with what you had already.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, the first page is actually the uniform summary budget or the budget summary, I'm sorry, that gets posted on the website, and then also that's what is given to D49 is behind that.
Mhm.
And I have the notes on there in terms of like what exactly everything was and how I came up with the numbers. So I don't know if you wanted to go over very specific stuff.
I think the big thing that I want to try and like for level set and maybe mostly for you, Amy, is I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think I said this earlier, we built our previous budget, meaning for the 25-26 school year off of 535. Is that,
506.
we built it off of
It is
506?
showing 506 on here.
It is.
No. 26-27 is 506.
And so was.
With 25, it was 506. I thought it was,
Wasn't built on that.
Right.
I thought it was
originally
535.
In May of 2025, it was built higher.
Okay.
It was like 640, I think. But then we'll go ahead and amend in
Yes.
November, and that was built on 506, because we already had our October count.
okay,
And so I'm building it conservatively as
That's-
well.
that's what I'm getting at.
Yes, so if we got 517, that is something we can do in November. And if you notice, and I just wanted to point to the projected column for 25, 26. We estimated 1.1 as a deficit, but if you look at the projected, we're down to 674. So,
Can you reference page number really quick?
yeah, it's 505. It's the very last
Okay.
one, and it's the net change to fund 11 benefits.
Net change to fund 11, got it.
Okay, so on the far right is the approved budget for November 2025, and then the projected for 25, 26.
Got it.
This year is only 674. So unless we have some really major changes as of June 30th, which I don't see, we should come in around that. So, I mean, I'm basically saying I'm adding more to the budget than what is necessary,
Understood.
so that we're not stuck until October, when we actually do our October count.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what I wanted to share.
Sure. I think the other thing that's important for us to, and we're confident, I know that there had been questions in the years past with the per pupil revenue. D49 has communicated that.
So they are looking at 11,577 or 75, but
Okay.
I was warned that the state has not fixed their budget yet, so they could retract that,
Okay.
and then it would just kind of leave our PPR flat.
Okay. So you're saying 11,577 is,
Let me give you an exact amount.
okay.
It
Whereas
is,
this
yeah,
year it's
11,577
Okay.
penny.
And a penny.
And
Got it.
this year it was 11,185.
It started that way, and it jumped to 11,256.
Got it.
So they're gonna change it based on
Yeah.
whatever the state decides, but they've got a weird configuration on how they're doing PPR this year. And, they're likely going to drop back down. So if they raise it to the 577, they'll probably drop it back
Yeah.
to where we are.
Okay.
To where we are, not
Currently.
even a slight increase, okay.
Yeah, it might.
When-
So, I mean, with 517 and an increase in PPR, I mean, we're obviously gonna look better, but right now, I'm just.
Understood.
It's-
Yeah. No, and I'm fine with that. I'd rather see the more kind of scarier picture and I don't mean to say scary, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Knowing that we're not anticipating that it's going to be as optimistic as maybe what we think in terms of the 11,577. So, okay.
And
When
that
will they-
five-
Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, go for it.
When will they be able to tell you definitively?
On the PPR?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. I don't know when they budget or when they're going into their.
So the session's done, so they should have everything with the budget and K through 12 taken care of because constitutionally they have to do both of those. So those are done. Now, I don't know that doesn't mean that the joint budget committee isn't going to go back and say, okay, now that we know what the overall budget is, how do they slice and dice necessarily amongst the schools and districts and based on the various equations that they have for student type population and so on and so forth with their long equation. I don't know what that is. I don't know if you can get anything from D49.
I got this on 5/18, so it was just a couple days ago.
Okay.
As far as an update, but Glenn Gustafson had given like a formula.
Okay.
And it was really complex in terms of
Yeah.
how they're figuring out PPR, so
Got it.
I don't know how.
So we're just kind of waiting for a little bit for them. Okay. So, and I would honestly say it's difficult for us to get them a budget when we're waiting on them to tell us what our PPR is. So I think that's just I want to make sure I said that on the record, right? Because I think that's fair. The other thing that I think it's important for us to know, if you've been watching news, enrollment across Colorado has been going down. I think the latest number is somewhere between 10 and 12,000 students out of what has been K through 12 education this year from previous years. My point in saying that is that I think when I first came to LTA, our enrollment must have been 600, north of 600. And here we are right now, obviously, we're talking about 506, we're talking about 517. These are lower numbers. Now, LTA has definitely had its period of leadership transition, lack of consistency, its own troubles, which have certainly probably helped get us to where we are. But there is a trend in Colorado, and that trend in Colorado is specifically that enrollment is declining overall. So I just want to level set that a little bit as we come together next month to look at this and figure out exactly what does that financial picture look like, while maybe I think our numbers for as of count day, was it 501 for count day October that we were receiving, or was it 506? 506. And with a projected of 517, that's still an increase. Obviously, the first day, the first 2 days, first 3 days will tell us, is 517 truly what it is? But the indicator of having intent to return or intent to come here come August of 2026, it's the number that we have to work off of. So anyways.
And we've been trying with a registrar to get a more accurate picture than we had last May.
Yes.
Because last May I was told these numbers, but there were a lot of departures that were known about but just weren't factored in.
Yes.
We're trying to factor in what we hear, even sometimes before it's confirmed.
Yeah. I think at the beginning of last year, Amy, there was somewhere in a difference of meaning what was projected versus what we actually saw in the beginning of about 26 or 36.
Yeah.
Is that about right?
So we set it for 640, I believe,
Yeah.
and.
Wow.
540.
540. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say it's definitely,
Yeah,
yeah, that would have been amazing, right? If we had really, but yeah, I think we said it closer to 540, and that
Okay.
was not the realization. So I think these numbers, what I'm seeing, tends to be a little bit more, well, conservative, but I think consistent with what we're seeing,
Yeah.
right?
You're right.
So, but that was also, we had just hired you, that we had a massive transition with former leadership, and, there was kind of a lot going on at LTA then. So, okay. And I just want, as we look at this through over the course of the next month or what have you, if there's anything else that comes up, if you get word from P49 and they settle in on a PPR, please, make sure you share that with us so that we can see it. And if that means that you need to adjust and say, hey, based on this PPR, this is how it's going to effectuate the entirety of the projected budget, that would be helpful too.
Okay.
So, and then whatever you two want to commiserate on is helpful. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Does the military get, pay the schools extra money, or the federal government pay for military students? They do.
So I think that's about that's the impact aid. And then
That's the what?
impact aid.
I see that.
So. the
That's on
registrars
page 1 of
have-
5.
Oh, yeah, page 1 of 5.
Impact aid.
Yeah, on the revenue.
Impact. Impact aid. That's
There it is.
That's the
Okay.
one. Sorry. Keep going, Ms. Miller.
No, in fact, I got 2 this year, which I wasn't anticipating, and I don't tend to anticipate that regularly.
This is something that the individual family has to apply for.
The registrar will put out a form, and then they fill it out, and then indicate.
Because we should be getting more.
I was going to say we have more than, you said we only have 2?
That's why they
No,
asked.
two deposits that was sent from D49, meaning that I received a lot more money than I was expecting. is what
Okay.
I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
had only anticipated the 7,000, but then I had gotten an extra one in March for 6,097, and they do it over several years. Like I never know.
Okay.
what
So the
they're
school
doing.
doesn't apply per military student. The families have to.
Yeah, but I do think the registrar does send out stuff
Okay.
with the enrollment, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I'm glad you brought this up. I'd be curious to know if we could better track, and maybe this is where a register could come in. I don't, whoever that is, better understanding of a solid picture. What are our military students,
Yeah, that would be helpful.
and to make sure that those
And
two.
I think she just collects the information. D49 is the one who actually calculates all this. So,
Okay.
so it's not like she's calculating it for me.
Yeah. Right. I just want to make sure that what D49 sees is what we see. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad you said that. I mean,
It's always a question. I didn't even know what code it was under. I was saying, that was, because throughout my kids' lives, every school they've been to was predominantly military, and the school was like well proportioned on the fees and everything. They had everything. Because the military, the government, federal side was giving them a lot of money. And I was like, where is that money here?
Yeah,
I want to know.
a good question.
yeah. And in fact, I feel like I need to do some investigative work to understand.
And
What
during
is
my
it?
time, we didn't have to fill out any paperwork. It was, once you register as a military student, child of a military, the money went to the school automatic.
Interesting.
So that was long ago. So I know things change, but
You say automatically
it
goes.
was automatic.
Well,
I
and I
never did any
homeschooled, so we
paperwork.
didn't do any of
Yeah.
any of that. So that's probably why I'm ignorant on it, honestly. But okay, I'm glad you said that. Yeah, thank you.
Well, if the PPR goes up and our enrollment goes up as projected, it'll about $290,000 bump. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's gonna matter.
Yeah, it will matter. And then I just wanted to point out, on the uniform budget summary, it's kind of nice because you have the different funds. You have fund 11, 12 is part of, well, that's the cut. But 22 is the grants, 26 is our building core, and then the other one that I have listed there is the MLO. So you'll see the revenue at the top, you'll see all the expenditures down below it, but at least you see where those pockets of money are
Sure,
allocated.
sure.
And it's the same as what it is on the one, the pages 1 through 5, but it is just set up different.
Okay,
So,
got it. Okay. Any other thoughts, discussion, questions? Okay. Let's move on from financials. We have public comment. It doesn't look like anybody's here, but let me just read this statement. Public comment, item number 10. We appreciate and welcome comments on Liberty Tree Academy school operations and programs. We ask that your comments be made in a respectful and orderly manner. Follow-up action items may be assigned to the appropriate board or staff member, depending on the comments. During public comment, board members may choose not to respond to any comments made in public session. In accordance with board policy, public participation is limited to 3 minutes per person. Thank you for your participation in our public comment forum. Like I said, it does not look like we have anybody here for public comment. Moving on to item number 11, which is our executive session. We have 2 items under executive session. I'll read both of these and then look for a motion to move into executive session. Item number A, strategy and instructions for negotiations and positions on matters which might be the subject of negotiations under Colorado Revised Statute 246402 for ECHO. And item number B, which is personnel matters under Colorado Revised Statute 246402 for F as in Foxtrot. With that, those are our 2 items. If I could have a motion to move into executive session, please.
I'll make a motion to move into executive session.
Very good. Thank you, Andy. And a second?
Second.
I think Amy beat you, Mike. Thank you, Amy.
I don't know. I got it on.
With that, is there any
Stipended board member.
is there any objection to moving into executive session? Seeing no objection, we will go ahead and pause here. We'll reconvene upon completion of our executive session. Yeah, very good. And we'll move over to the Green Dragon. All right, we are back from executive session, moving into action items, item number 12. Thank you. We have one action item, and that is our past meeting minutes. If I could have a motion to adopt our past meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to adopt our past meeting minutes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Andy. Very good. And is there any objection? Seeing no objection, we've adopted our past meeting minutes. Moving on to announcements. Announcements for next board meeting is supposed to be June. Hold on, I just had my calendar. June 18th?
Supposed to be the 18th.
June 18th, but you all will be gone that entire week.
Yes.
So we will need to move our board meeting. I'm thinking,
I mean, I could theoretically do it virtually, but I don't, it's depending on what you want.
we could maybe potentially do that. Is there any objection to maybe having Harold chime in remotely?
Hilton.
No?
I think that'd be
I
fine.
think that'd
I
be
think
kind of
that's-
sweet.
Yeah.
If you can-
From there?
I
Video.
I can go to
Promotional
Heritage.
piece that would be.
There you go. All right, so we'll plan for the 18th, unless we find out that, connectivity-wise or something, there's some sort of friction or challenge there, or what have you. But
Yeah, but
Let's-
just have a team or is like.
yeah. Okay, and then let's also talk July.
Okay.
July, I think we are looking at having to bump that because I will be out of pocket on reserve stuff. And I think the date that we might be looking at is best is July 30th. I don't know if anybody has anything hot that July 30th would not work.
Well, June, yeah, I don't. Sorry.
You're fine.
Did we have a July meeting last year?
You normally take the summer off.
You could look.
That is true.
So that's a,
So then why don't we say July 30th unless we choose to waive off? Is everyone good with that?
Yeah.
As long as no one has anything on their calendar that's like, hey, June 30th, I absolutely can't do it. And then if we have to waive off from June 30th or July 30th, sorry, then we can waive off. But you are correct. We have usually taken July off. Okay, so I think that settles both of those.
Safety forum, I forgot to ask, are we gonna try to reschedule that at some point?
Yes, now that the legislative session is over and all those people are freed up, I think what makes sense is probably something near the start of the school year, probably not during summer.
Yeah.
I would think August, September.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any countering kind of thoughts to that logic.
We just have to schedule it around.
What is first day of school? I think it'd be kind of cool to have it before the first day of school as a
Okay.
kind of,
Like really, like in the first week of August, do you think?
yeah. Is that
Might be.
asking too much?
No, I don't think so. We're not going to know until we ask. So July or August 12th is a Wednesday. That checks. Like
Yeah.
that makes sense. So sometime on that first week, which would be,
The 4th or 5th?
yeah, 4th or 5th, 4th, 5th or 6th.
Okay.
I wouldn't do it on Monday. I wouldn't do it on Friday, but yeah, 4th, 5th or 6th. So,
Because I think we're gonna do something back. to school.
okay. Got it. Okay.
and since I'm looking at the calendar, I'll throw it out there.
Yeah.
August 20th is our August board meeting date.
Okay.
My son is getting married that day.
Oh, that's,
Bring it on.
can you just do it remote? Can we have it
Oh,
live?
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
He's getting married that weekend or that day?
that day. They're getting married on a Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big venue discount.
Got it.
They-
I've
Okay.
heard of that.
Okay.
And they were like, we can do a Thursday. Who says you have to do Sunday? So,
Well-
yeah, he's getting married on August 20th.
Do we want to just, it'll be the start of school, the 12th, the 13th is probably too much to try and do a board meeting. The 27th seems to make more sense, but do we just want to tentatively plan for the 27th and just punt one?
That's
We don't
up
have
to
to
you.
commit ourselves. I'm
Yeah.
fine with punting 1 week. I don't see any reason as to why I couldn't. So, August
No
27th.
one pays attention to board meetings anymore? Sorry.
Okay. All right, with that. I don't
Is there
see.
anybody on right now?
I don't know, let me check. There's 5 of us here.
All right, well, with that
That was
said,
August 27th.
August 27th, yeah.
There
Good
are-
flag on that. Good flag. Okay. So with that said, I think that moves us beyond announcements to adjournment. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you all. Have a good evening.